I'd gone to the University of Arkansas, and we were getting ready to play Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl. We had a very fine football team, had a very successful year. We had those three rules: do what's right, do the best you can, treat others you like to be treated. And unfortunately, I was called upon to keep three young men from participating in the football game because they had violated a rule we had, and it was a serious rule. We went down to play Oklahoma in the Orange Bowl, and I want to tell you, nobody gave us a chance to win the game. We were a 24-point underdog, and every time you picked up the newspaper, it talked about the great athletes from Oklahoma. Never once did it talk about a good athlete from Arkansas. They said about how bad we were and how bad we would get beat. And you know what? They talked about didn't have a chance in the world, and our football team believed it, and they started acting that way. I had a meeting 2 days before the football game in the Four Seasons Hotel. As the athletes came in, it was the quietest group you'd ever seen. I never did this trick before publicly. But I said, you know, this is like any other newspaper. You have front page for people who want to read the news. You have the comics for people who can't read. You have the editorial page for people who can't think. I said, you know, it's really amazing. You're going to roll over and die because you read your obituary in the newspaper. I said, you really have to have a faith and you have to have a belief. If there's one thing in this world I wish I could get across to everybody in this world, don't let people tear you down. Don't let people cause you to lose faith and confidence in yourself and in what you're doing. If you believe in yourself, it's so easy to lift other people up. I said, you know, we really can win this football game if you really have a strong faith and you have a belief. If you're going to believe that somebody can tear you up and you can't put yourself back together, you're in real problems. Now, I said, I'm going to tell you what, we're going to go around this room and I want you to tell me why we can win. And I suggest to you here today, sometime you sit down and list all the positive things about you. But I said, I want to know why we can win. Surely there's something that we have going for us. As they started thinking about it, they got up one by one because we weren't leaving that room till they started telling me why we could win. They got up, I said, I want it to be positive and I want it to be sincere. They said, well, you know, we do have the #1 defense in the country statistically, which we did, and it was intact. And if we are going to lose, we aren't going to get beat bad because they aren't going to score a lot. And I want to tell you what is, the more they talked about one another and looked at why they could win, you could see the whole attitude change. They trusted one another. They were brought together. But they made a commitment to one another that evening before they left there. And win, lose, or draw, they were going to be the best they could be. And you could tell that they cared about one another when they started praising one another. Boy, I tell you, it's amazing what happens when you look for something sincere to say positive about somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, when that football team left that room that day, they were a different team. The news media stopped coming to practice by that time. But the next day we had an unbelievable practice. And in our locker room before the game, you could feel the trust, the love, the commitment all came together. You could feel it. I didn't know if we'd win, but I knew this, we were going to be outstanding because the attitude was there. And I've had people say to me, I knew you'd win that game the way your team came out that locker room door. They said, I've never seen a team that fired up. What'd you tell them? I said, Oklahoma's big, mean, strong, nasty, and aggressive. I said, the last 11 of you out of here are going to have to start. Boy, tore that door down to get out. We won the football game 31-6. And a tremendous upset, and it wasn't coaching.
Okay.
The prime example of trust, commitment, and love.